Hello guys, I've gotten some questions from waec, jamb and GCE, and I want us to solve it based on geometry progression. So you'll be able to know or have an understanding of what you will likely see in your jamb, waec or neco exam based on geometry progression. So the questions goes like the first question, I will solve it one after the other, then we will continue looking at it. So I'll make sure I explain it for you so you'll be able to understand it. And the first question goes like, it said the first term of a geometric progression is twice its common ratio. Find the sum of the first two terms of the GP if its sum of infinity is what is 8. Now how do we solve something like this? So you have to reason like a mathematician. Now what is happening here is that they said the first term is twice its common ratio. It means a is twice common ratio, is 2 times common ratio. You know, R represents R as common ratio, A is the first term. So A is 2 times the common ratio. It means A equals to what? 2R. Now, then I proceed. That one is done for that. Then I said, find the sum of the first two terms of the GP if its sum of infinity is 8. And you know that the formula for sum of infinity is A over 1 minus R. I think I'm right with this. And that's this sum of infinity here is what? Sum of infinity is what is 8. It means 8 equals to, what is our A? You know, our A is what? Is 2R. So you are going to replace 2R with A here. So it's going to be 2R over what? 1 minus what? Minus R. So what are you going to do now? You what? You cross multiply. So you have, when you cross multiply, you have 8, 1 minus R equals to what? Equals to 2R. Now 8 times 1 is what? 8. 8 times minus R is minus what? Minus 8R equals to what? Equals to 2R. You take this to the other side. So 8 equals to 2R plus 8R. And 2R plus 8R will give us what? That will give us what? 10 was 10R. And you divide both sides by what? Both sides by 10. Both sides by 10 to make R to stand alone. 10 cancel 10. So 2 goes in 8 is 4. And 2 goes in 10. That is what? That is 5. So it means R equals to what? 4 over 5. That is that. Now it's not done yet. And I said, because that is not what they just asked us to find what? Find the sum of the first two terms of the GP. Very good. Now you should know that since you know that your A, let's look at it. A is equals to what? 2R. And you know that your R is 4 over 5. It means my A now equals to what? 2 times 4 over what? Over 5. Which means my A is what? 8 over what? Over 5. Now, then I said, find the sum of the first two terms. You know, sum of the first two terms, is that what they gave us there? Yeah. Find the sum of the first two terms. And the formula for the sum of the first two terms, you know, it is sum of the first two terms. When you call our formula, this R is less than 1. So it's going to be A, then it's going to be R what? If it's less than 1, that is 1. It's going to be 1 minus what? R raised to power what? Raised to power what? 2. First two terms. Close bracket. Then you have what? 1 minus what? Minus R. Now, using this now, sum of the first two terms now, was my A? My A is 8 over 5. That is 8 over 5. Open a bracket. 1 minus what? My R is what? My R, since my R is R squared here, that is R squared, that will be 4 over 5 squared. This is how it looks like. 4 squared is what? That is 16. And 5 squared is what? Is 25. So you place this one with what is there. So it's going to be 16 over what? Over 25. You close bracket over what? 1 minus what? Minus 4 over 5. Hope you get what I'm doing. Now, what next is that? Let me look for the SM of this. The SM of 1 and 25. So you have 8 over what? Over 5. You open a bracket. And the SM of this and this is what? Is 25, right? 25 goes in 1 is 25. 25 times 1 is what? 25 minus what? Minus what? Minus 16. Because 25 going to 25 is 1 times 10 is 16. Then all over what? The bottom also is over 1. The SM is what? The SM is what? Is 5. 5 goes in 1 is 5. 5 times. Let me raise it up so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So you have 5 goes in 1 is 5. 5 times 1 is what? 5. Minus 5 goes in 5 is 1. 1 times 4 is what? Is 4. So what you have here now, you have 8 over 5. Now this is 25 minus 16 is what? Is 9 over what? Over 25. Open a bracket, then you have what? Yes, 5 minus 1 is like 1 over what? Over 5. So when you multiply this, 8 times 9, I think 8 times 9 should give us what? That should give us 72, if I'm right. Over what? 5 times 125 is 5 times 25 is 125. Then over 1 over what? Over 5. So don't be scared. That's mathematics for you. It's very simple. What you are going to do is that you split them. You split this thing. This thing can be written like this: 72 over 125. This over means division, divided by. You do it like your primary school or something. So next thing is that what's going to be 72 over what? 125. Now this division is changed to times. The 5 will go up, the 1 will come down. 5 over what? Over 1. 5 here 1. 5 in 125 is what? Is 25. So your final answer here is what? 72 over what? Over 25. I hope you can see it. When you look at it very well, check very well, you can pause the video and try it on your own. It's very easy. So that is that for that. I will screenshot the second one. That is this for the first one. Let's look at the second one. Let's look at the second one. The questions are here already. I just grabbed them from waec questions and jamb past question. Now let's look at this together. So the first time of a GP. Okay, we've done this. Let's look at this. I just hope I keep track of all these things. Oh, okay. I'm just sorry for this. Let me copy this and come here. Let's paste this here. Let me raise it up so that you can see it clearly. I hope you can see it. You should be able to see it. It's clearly. Yeah. Now let's look at this question. This said the difference between the third and the first term of a geometric progression is 42. Now you are going to write an equation. You know, the third term I told you is what? Is a half squared, right? Difference means minus the first and first term is ordinary a. They said is what? It will give us what? It will give us 42. Just know that is equation 1. You stop. That is it. Now then I said if the first term is greater than the second term by 168, you know the fourth term is a half. First term is a half raised to power 3, right? They said is equals to, that is greater than the second time. You know the second time is a half, right? Now using your normal, I told you earlier, you know how to do this. A half, that is a half 2 minus 1, then 2 minus 1 is 1, a half by 168. Greater than means you are going to add plus what? 168. So this is equation what? Equation 2. Then also to find the first term and the fourth term. Now it's very easy. It means here you have to find the common ratio and the first term, so you'll be able to get the fourth term. Now I can rewrite this thing. So this thing can be written like this: how a half 2 minus a equals to 42. Now this and this, they looks alike. I can bring this here, so I can have a r raised to power 3. When I bring a r here, it becomes minus. It's an invisible plus, and when it cross here, it becomes minus what? A r equals to what? Equals to 168. Now this equation here is same thing as what is here. Now what I'm going to do here is that I can factorize, so it will become difference of 2 squared. Now let me show you something. A is common here, a is common here, so I can bring that a outside, open a bracket. A in this one, when a will cancel this a, will mean r squared. That is, you have r squared minus a divided by a is what? Is 1, close bracket, is equals to what? 42. The same thing here, what is there? A r is common, a r is common, so I can have a r, you open a bracket, a r here is what? It is what? r squared minus what? The same thing, minus what? Minus 1, then is equals to what? 168. What I did was that I factorized this. A is a is a r is there. So when I divide this, a divided by, when I multiply this together, it must give you back this answer. AR times r squared is AR cube. AR times 1 is what? AR, then this. It's just the same thing. That's how mathematics goes. So what we are going to do is that this is, when you check this thing, this what is in this bracket is difference of 2 squared. What do you mean by difference of 2 squared? Difference of 2 squared is talking about that if you have something like this, sorry, I'm just trying to check. If you have something like this, r squared, now it means if I give you s squared minus 1, it means x minus 1, x plus 1. How do I mean? Square root of s squared is x, square root of 1 is 1. Just put the plus 1. So if I give you, let's say, another one, I don't want to bother you with this. You should know this. Since you're in SS2, you should know it. But I just want those that do not have an understanding of this difference of 2 squared to have an understanding of it. That is what difference of 2 squared is it. So we are going to turn each of them to difference of 2 squared, so we'll be able to solve it together. So let's go. So what I'm going to do here is that since I'm going to change this to difference of 2 squared, so it's going to be, the first one is going to be a. So what's it going to what's it going to be? It's going to be r minus 1, then r plus 1. That is how it's going to be, equals to what? 42. So let me scroll this down. So the second one is going to be, this second one here is also going to be ar equals to what? R minus 1, r plus 1 equals to what? 160 what? 168. This is equation what? Equation 1. We are seeing what? Equation what? Equation 2. Now what I'm going to do is that since both of them they are equal, they looks alike, so I'm going to divide this equation 2 by equation 1. So it's going to go like this. It's going to be r minus 1 r plus 1 equals to 168 divided by a, you have r minus 1 r plus 1 equals to what? Equals to what? 42. So this r minus 1 will cancel this one, r plus 1 will cancel r plus 1, a cancel a. So 42 here is 1. I think 42 and 168, if I'm not mistaken. Let me use my calculator. 42 168 divided by 42, that is 4. So it means my r now is equals to what? Equals to 4. So just get the logic around this thing. For instance, just like you want to simplify, you want to find a way in which your r can stand alone. That's why I divided it by each other. Now the next one is that, so you have gotten your how to before now, so it's very easy. I can use any of the equation. So in this one, know my equation 1, since I've gotten my how to before now. So, and they said I should look for the first term. Now you look at this equation 1 is a r squared minus 1 is equals to 42. So I can use this. So I can use equation 1 and say substitute, since I've gotten how now, substitute 4 for r in equation what? Equation 1. And you know equation 1 is ar squared minus 1. So you have a, it is this equation 1, r squared minus 1 equals to what? 42. So it means my a here now, what means my r squared, my 4 squared, that will be 4 squared minus 1 equals to what? 42. So what I will get here is that what? 4 squared is 16, 16 minus 1 is 15. So it will be 15, and 15 times a is 15a. So 15a equals to what? Equals to 42. So what am I going to do? I'll divide both sides by what? By 15. This also by what? By 15. So 15 will cancel 15. So my a equals to what? 42 over what? Over 15. That is my a here. So I can still divide. I think 3 can go here. 3 and 4 is 1. Mean 1. 3 and 12, that is what? 3 times 4 is 2, that's 14. So you have, there is, you have 14 over what? Over 5 as your a. Now the next question is said you should look for the fourth term. Now that is very simple. For the fourth term now, I think it's fourth term, you have what? U4, which is fourth term. It is a r raised power 3, according to what I told you. So my a is now what? 14 14 over what, over 5 times my r is what, is 4. That is 4 raised by what, 4 raised by 3. That is what, 14 over what, over 5 times 4 raised by 3, which should give 4 times 4, 16, that's 64. So when you multiply this, what do you get? You get 64 times 14. I'm going to use my calculator here. So that is 64 times what? Times 14. That is 896. So your answer here is what? 896. 896 divided by over what? Over 5. You can make it in decimal or mixed fraction. You get the same answer. So this is your final answer for this one. You can see how simple this question is. But if you don't get the logic, you get lost. So copy this question or try it on your own. You'll be able to get it on your own. So let's move on to the next question. Let me clear this. Now the next question is here. I think we have done this. I think let me move to the next question here. Let me snap this out so that we can look at it together. The next question goes like this. So most of them here, they are jamb questions and waec question, but it's the same logic you are going to apply to solve any geometry progression question. There's nothing hard there. So let's look at this together. So okay. Now let's look at it. Now this one says that if the second term of a GP is 8 over 9 and the sixth term is 4 over 1 over, find the common ratio. This one is very easy. So they said the second term of GP, it means second time our formula will be what? AR, that is second time, formula for second time. That is what they said is what, is 8 over what? 8 over 9. And they said the system is, it will A r raised by what? Raised by 5. That is system. 2 times 4 is 4 number 1, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 1 is what? Is 9. So this is 9 over what? 9 over what? Over 2. Say find the common ratio, find R now. So it's very easy. What you're going to do is that you can divide this by this, as I did earlier. So it can be A r raised by 5 divided by what? Divided by A r equals to, you are dividing this by this, 9 over 2. This one here divided by 8 over 9. Did you get that now? So A we cancel A. How cancel one of these? Remain r raised power 4. So now I have r raised power 4 equals to, now this one I can write as saying 9 over 2 divided by 8 over what? Over 9. So it will be r raised power 4 equals to 9 over 2 times 9 over what? Over 8. Did you get that now? So what are we going to do now? 9 times 9 is what? Is 81. This is 81. And 2 times 8 is what? That is 16. So it means r raised power 4 equals to what? 81 over what? Over 16. So if you want to make r to stand alone now, so you are going to say r equals to this raised power 4 will cross it, become 4 truth. You do something like this, like a basket. You write 4 here, then this one is going to be 81 all over what? All over 16. So what you're going to do now is that what number you multiply in 4 places that will give us 81? That is 3. What number you multiply in 4 places that will give us 16? That is what? That is 2. So your final answer is what? Your common ratio is 3 over 2. So anytime you are given something like this exponential sequence, just divide the one that has the highest power over the one that had the lowest power in terms of common ratio. Then you get your final answer. So that is that for that. It's a very simple question. So let's move on. The next question now. Next question. Let me snap this out. We've done this one. I think this one is the next one now. Okay. I think this one is very straightforward. Okay. So let me copy this. Okay. Is here. So let me paste it here. Now this one now, how are we going to solve this now? The way you're going to solve this, I find the sum of infinity of this is not sum of infinity. sum of infinity is what? A over what? 1 minus what? 1 minus r. And our a here is what? First term is what? Is 1 over 4. 1 over 4. Now, common ratio, you divide this one by this one. That's common ratio. It means my common ratio is what? 1 over 8 divided by 1 over 4. So it will be 1 over 8 times, this will go up, this will come down, 4 over 1. 4 here 1, 4 here 2. So 1 times 1, it is 1. 2 times 1, it is 2. There's a difference between 1 over 2 and 2. Don't make the mistake. So I'm going to substitute in this formula here. So hence, so infinity equals to, my here is what? That is 1 over 4 all over 1 minus 1 over 2. Now, it can now be 1 over 4 over, the LCM of this one is 1. So the LCM, the LCM of that, so the LCM is what? Is 2, right? 2 goes in 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is what? 2. Minus 2 goes in 2. 1. 1 times 1 is what? Is 1. I should be doing this, but I just want you to understand it. It's not about me solving it for you and I'm done. No, I should be able to explain how I get the answer. 2 minus 1 is what? Is 1 all over what? All over 2. And I told you, if you have something like this, what are you going to do? It's going to be 1 over 4 divided by, this over means divided, over 1 over what? 1 over 2. So I will have 1 over 4 times, this one will go up, this will come down, 2 over 1. 2 here is 1, 2 here is what? Is 2. So my final answer, 1 times 1 is what? Is still 1 over what? Over 2. So here, my what? Sum of infinity is what? 1 over 2. So that is that for that. So let's move on. Now the next question here, let's go together. The next question, okay, I think this is the next question here. Let me get this off from here. Okay, let me paste this here. My bad. Now in this question here, what you are asked to find is to find the common ratio. The question is not complete. Probably I cut off some part there, but when I check the question from the JAMB past question, you are asked to find the common ratio in this particular case now. But when you check this thing very well, now it's this sum of progression. You just have to, except the sum of the progression is like this. So what you have to find here, I think, is sum of infinity. Yeah, it's sum of, it's not, I think it is sum of what? Sum of infinity. That is what is here you're asked to find there. So how do you now get the sum of infinity in this particular case? You know, sum of infinity, because this is and so on and so forth, it means the sum of infinity you're asked to find. So you know, sum of infinity, the question is what? It is a over what? 1 minus what? 1 minus r. And our a is the first time. The first time a is 1. This is the first number. So it means my a here equals to what? 1. And the common ratio, you divide the second time by the first time, or this by this, so you get common ratio. It means my common ratio here is can be x over 1, and x over 1 is what? Is x. Did you get that now? So I will substitute here. So my sum of infinity here equals to my a is 1 over what? 1 minus what? Minus x. So that is that. So it doesn't take any long. So that is it. This is the final answer for this. This is 1 minus what? 1 minus x. That is the sum of what? Of this progression. That is sum of infinity. Now let's move on. See, those questions are very simple if you understand how it works. Now let's look at this one. I even put some JAMB question here. Okay, there's another one here. Look at this. Okay, this is it. Okay, this is what I was thinking is common ratio. Okay, now let's look at this together and paste it here. Some questions are very long. That is why I'm pasting it one after the other. I'm very sorry if this is strenuous to you, but there's no way to do it. You just have to do it like this. So avoid cleaning. I hate that, my God. Now let's go. So today, this is talking about the three consecutive of geometric progression. This is the first time, the second term, and this is what the third term. Find the common ratio. You have to find n or common ratio how you want to get it. Now, to find the common ratio here, you should know that in this particular scenario, common ratio I told you earlier is always, it can be second over first. It's the same thing as saying the third term over what? Over the second time. If you can recall when we were solving introduction to geometric progression. Now this is the second time, this is the first time. I can equate this now saying how equals to my second time here is n. This is second time, this is first time, this is third term. So it can be n over what? My first term is n minus 2. N minus 2. It's the same thing as saying the third term here is what? N plus 3, right? So n plus 3 over, and my second term, it is what? It is n. This is second term, n. So hence is just to find this n, to make this n, that is common ratio. So what I'm going to do is that I'll cross multiply. So I will have n minus 1, then n plus what? Plus 3. So is equals to what? N times n is what? N squared. You know, everything is common ratio. Now what we're going to do now is that let's multiply. So n times n is what? Is n squared. N times plus 3 is plus 3n. Minus 1 times n is what? Is minus n. Minus 1 times plus 3 is minus 3, equals to what? Equals to n squared. So I can bring everything here, then everything is equal to 0. So we have, or I just bring this one here. So I have n squared. When this n squared causes, it becomes minus n squared. 3n minus n, that will give us 2n plus 2 to what? Equals to 0. So n squared minus n squared is 0. 2n minus 3, 2n minus 3 equals to 0. I'll transfer this 3 to the other side. My 2n equals to what? That will be what? 3. I'll divide both sides by what? By 2, because I'm looking for n. So n equals to what? 3 over 2. So my common ratio here, so I can use this. So to get the common ratio, I can use any of them. So you know the common ratio, I can use any of them. So since my n is now, I want to use this second time over the first term. So since my n is now 3 over 2, and my n, so n minus 2, so n minus 2 will now be what? N minus 2 will be 3 over 2 minus 2 over 1. So I'm just trying to use this, you know, what I did here is second time over what? First term. And I've gotten n to be what? To be 3 over 2. So let me just look for this first term, so I can just divide it by each other. Now, for this one now, the LCM is what? Is 2. 2 here, 2 in 2 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3, minus 2 in 1, 2, 2 times 2, that is what? That is 4, right? If I'm right, I'm right. I'm very, very sure I'm right. But I've not make any mistake. Okay, no mistake. 3 minus 4 is what? This is minus 1 over what? Over 2. So using that now, the common ratio now, so the common ratio we are going to do now is, so the common ratio here is going to be on second term, that is n over what? N minus 2. N is the second time, this is the first term. So according to our first time, this is what you get. This is our second term. So that will be 3 over 2 divided by, you know, this term is divided by n minus 2 is what? We got what? Minus 1 over 2. So it means 3 over 2 times, this will go up, this will come down, 2 over minus 1. It's not normal to put minus 1 at the bottom. We take it up, but I'm just telling you. So 2 cancel 2. So 3 times this minus 1 will go up. So your answer is what? Minus what? Minus 3. Just like taking the minus up, then 3 times minus 1 is what? Minus 3. So this is your what? This is your common ratio. So your common ratio here is what? Is n is what? Minus what? Minus 3. Now let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, this one looks beautiful. Okay, jamb 2014. Okay, look at it now. These people. Okay, let's go together. Now let's look at this question. Now looking at this question together, let's look at it now. They said what is the common ratio of the GP? Look at this common ratio. Now this to what? To infinity. Get that into your what? Into your head. Now to infinity, you know, is very easy, but you have to find the common ratio, and you know that the common ratio is this second term. This is the first term. This second term. The second term over what? The first term. So what they are saying here to be what? It means my common ratio here to be what? This one divided by this root what? Root 10 plus what? 2 root what? Root 5 over what? Over root what? Root 10 plus what? Plus root what? Root 5. Now, how are you going to solve something like this? You rationalize. You what? Rationalize. Now, for those of you that may find so difficult, you can go to the SS3 work. First, the 4th week, I explain vividly on SOD. So what you're going to do is that, let me show you what you're going to do. So it's going to say, you're going to write root 10, that is the number at the top, plus 2 root what? 2 root 5 over root what? Root 10 plus what? Plus root 5. Now, you are going to multiply the bottom, the top and the bottom by the conjugate of this sort. Conjugate means you just change this plus to minus. So it's going to be root 10 minus what? Minus root 5 over what? Root 10 minus what? Minus what? Root what? Root 5. So what you're going to get is that let's multiply root 10 times root 10 is because of we are in SS2 and some of you may not have the background knowledge of SOD. So let us do it in the way you understand. Root 10 times root 10 is root 100. I'm just saying, though there's a law that guides it, I can write ordinary 10, but for you to understand, root 10 times root 5, that is minus root 50. 2 root 5 times root 10, it means these two multiplied, there's an invisible one here, 2 times 1, that is what? Plus what? Plus 2. Root 5 times root 10, that is root what? What is this? Okay, so root 10, root 2 and 2 times 10, so what am I doing? 2 root 5, if I'm still right, okay, 2, there is 2, root 5 times root 10, that is root what? Root 50. Plus times minus is what? Is minus. Now, there's invisible one also here, 2 times 1 is what? Is 2. Root 5 times root 5, let's write root 25. Though there are better ways of writing this thing, but just for understanding's sake, over, now let's multiply this, root 10 times root 10, here is what? Is root what? Root 100. Root 10 times minus root 5, that is minus what? Minus root what? Minus root 50. Then root 5 times this is what? Plus what? Plus root 50. This was normal expansion. Then root 5 times plus times minus is what? Is minus. And root 5 times root 5 is what? Root what? Root 25. Don't panic. It's very what? This thing is easy. Oh, okay. Then move it like this. I think you can continue like this. So this is what you now have now. Let me just draw something like this. So root 100 is what? Is square root of 100, you know, is what? Is 10 minus, I know how to handle this now. Square root of 50, this root 50, let me tell you something, there's an invisible one here. Loss of SOD, both of them, if they have the same thing, you can minus. You just minus the outside number, just like saying 2x, let's say 2x minus x, you know, both of them have x's. There's an invisible one here. 2 minus 1 is just what? 1. Then you pick 1x. That's the same thing with SOD also. Minus 1 plus 2, you know, is 1. Should I write 1 here? Let me just help you write 1 so that you understand. Both of them have root 50, root 50. You pick one of the root 50. I shouldn't be writing 1, but just for you to understand. Now, root 25, you know, is 5. 5 times 5 goes 25. So root 25 is 5. So 5 times this 2 is what? Is minus what? Minus 10. Just get that. All over. Now, this and this will cancel because this is plus root 50 minus root 50. Root 100 is what? That is what? That is 10. Minus root 25 is what? Is 5. Now I can collect items from top number 10 minus 10 you don't need to write 1 here, because when you take off 1, it's just like writing, like if you write 1x, it's same as writing x. Did you get that now? So I can still write this one as saying, I can write it as minus what? Minus root what? Root 50. Can write it like this, all over what? 10 minus 5 is what? Is 5. 10 minus 10 is 0. This one is 0. So I can change this to basic form. Basic form means you find a perfect square and non-perfect square that will multiply, that will give us 50. If I write minus, that will be 25 times what? Times 2. You should know that this is in basic form over what? Over 5. Now 25, square to 25 is what? That 5 will now be outside. 5 over what? With what? With 2 over what? Over 5. So 5 cancel what? Cancel as 5. So your final answer is what? Root what? Root 2 minus root 2. That is your what? Your common what? Your common ratio. I guess, oh sorry, there was a mistake here. Minus 1 plus 2. I was looking at this. Minus 1 plus 2, that is 1. So this one is plus here. Sorry, this should be what? Should be plus here. It happens like that. So this is plus. So it's just ordinary with 2. That is the final answer. Just know that minus 1 plus 2 is plus 1, not minus 1 as I did earlier. So that is that for this. It's very simple. You can what? You can put this down, check what? Check your work very well. You will surely get it. It's very simple. Now let's move on. There is more work here. Now there's another question here. Let me just get to this part. Just hope we can finish this thing on time. There's still more too, but let's solve it. I just want us to have the time, the third time of the geometry, first time and second time. I think okay. Let's look at this together. It's just for us to understand this thing. You can do it before I do the solution. You can do it. That's how you learn. If you can do it before my own solution, then it means you are following along and you understand the question. This is a jamb question, and it do come out in jamb. In fact, there is no way you can escape geometry progression or arithmetic progression. And determine the third term of the geometry progression, whose first time and second time are 2 and 54. So it means this one, the first time a of this thing is what? Is 2, and the what? They said the second time is ar is equals to what? Equals to what? Equals to 54. Now what I did earlier, I said you divide this one by this one, because this one at the bottom is bigger than what's at the top. So it's going to be ar is equals to 54 divided by what? A equals to what? 2. Right? So a will cancel a, right? 2 here is 1, 2 in 54, that will give us 27. It means my r here is what? Is 27. Did you get that now? A is 2, r is 27. So the now said is find the what? Find the third term of what? Of this. The third term, you know, the formula for third term, un, third term is what? A r raised power what? Raised power 2. That's third term. So since I've gotten my a, so my third term equals to what? When my a is what? That is 2 times what? My r squared will now be what? 27 what? 27 squared. So my final answer here, that will be what? 2 times my 27 squared. If I use my calculator, 27 times 27 times 27, that is 729. So the third term here will be what? 2 times 729, 2 times 729, that is 1,400 what? 458. So this is the final answer. This is very straightforward. Doesn't even take time if you know what you are doing. Now let's move on to the next one. Now the next question here, let me snap this. Sorry. Okay, let's look at this. I think we're almost done with this, but let's just take this one. Okay. Now in a geometric progression, the first time is 153, and the system is the sum of the first 4 terms is what? This is very easy. So it means the first time here, my first time they said is what? Is 153. First time is always a, and the system, you know, it to be a r raised power what? Raised power 6, right? so a raised power 5 to make the mistake is a raised power 5. Okay, so a raised power 5, there is system a raised power 5 equals to what? 17 over what? Over 27. You know what I told you earlier? So you just divide this by this. So it's gonna be a raised power 5 equals to 17 over what? Over 27. Showing you some shortcuts. Then this is what? A equals to what? 153. Now this a, we cancel what? We cancel this a. Now this one is now a raised power 5 equals to 17 over what? Over 27 divided by what? 153. So raised power 5 equals to what? 17 over what? Over 27 times 1 over what? 150 what? 153. Now when you divide this, what will you get? 17 times 1. So 17 times 1 is 17. This is going to give us, so let's check something. 153 divided by 17. So when you divide this, 17 here is 1, 17 here is 9. So you have 1 over, now 27 times 9, 27 times 9, 27 times 9, that is 243. So it's 2 4 what? 243. No, it's this r raised power 5, if you can recall. So this thing now, this 5 will now come here. So my r equals to, that will be 50 root 5 1 over what? 2 4 3. Now my r is now equals to 1 over the, what number you multiply in 5 place that give us 2 4 3? It's still 3. So it's going to be 3. This is 1 over 3. It means in this particular question, your a is what? Your a is 153 and your r is what? 1 over 3. So find the sum of the first 4 terms. You know, when we are looking for the sum of the first 4 terms now, s first 4 terms, because just first thing you check is that you check here what's your r. Your r is less than 1. So it means your term is going to be a, that is 1 minus what? Oh my god, what's this? So your a is gonna be, your a is gonna be 1 minus what? Minus r raised power what? N, close brackets, then over what? 1 minus r. Based on that, r is what? Is less than 1. Now using that now, so it means my sum of the fourth term here will be what? What's my a? My a is 153, if I'm not mistaken. 153. Then 1 minus, that will be 1 over 3 raised power what? Raised power 4, right? Fourth term. Close bracket over what? 1 minus 1 over 3. So what you're going to have here is what? 153. You open a bracket, 1 minus 1 over 3 raised power 4. 3 times 3 times 3 is what? Is 81. This is over 1. Then close bracket. This is 1 minus 1 over 3. This over 1. The SM is what? The SM is 3. 3 goes in 1 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 minus 1. I shouldn't be doing this again. I just want to do it. Now this one now, you have what? 150 what? 153. Open a bracket. So we are moving gently and slowly. Now the SM of this and this is what? Is 81. You write 81. 81 goes in 1 is 1. What is this? Come on. Get away from the screen. Sorry for this. Don't know where this. What's this nonsense? Don't need you. Get away. Oh. Just pop up. What's concerned with this thing now? What's all this nonsense? Sorry for that interruption. Sorry guys. So 81 in 1 is 81. 81 times 1 is what? Is 81 minus what? Minus 1. All over. Now 3 minus 1, that is what? 2 over what? Over what? Over 3. Now we continue with our solving, just so there will be enough space at the bottom. Now we now have, so there will be 153 153. 81 minus 1, that is what? 80. You have 80 over what? Over 81. So over what? Over 2 over 3. So this bracket, you can multiply 153 times 80. 153 times 80, that is 12,000. These, oh my god, it's freaking me out. Sorry guys, sorry. Yeah, nobody's above mistake. Now okay, sorry. So 153 times 80, this will give us, I multiply this up by this up number, so there's 12,000 for 12,214 214 all over, then over 81. You know, this over means divided by what? 2 over 3. So this thing is now equals to, you can write it as in 1,2240 over what? Over 81. This division will turn to times 3 over 2. It's 3 over 2. So you can divide this thing. 3 here is 1. 3 goes in 81, that is 27. Then 2 here is 1. 2 goes in 1,240 divided by what? 2. This is 6120. When you divide this, is 6120. So your final answer now, so it means my sum of the fourth term equals to what? 6120 all over what? All over 27. So this is my final answer. So this is how you get it. It's very easy, very simple. You can try solve it on your own, or you follow the way I'm solving it. Pause the video as I'm solving. If you don't understand any concept, you can pause the video, play it again. That is the advantage that you have. Now let's move on to the next one. We're almost done. Just calm guys, we're almost done. I think we just have 2 left. Yeah, I just want us to understand this thing very well. That is it. There are a lot of questions. Let's look at this together. But if you really understand it, but if you want, that is why it's good to give more examples in the class, solve more solutions in the class, so that at the end of the day, students will have understanding of everything. But in the class, your teacher may not have the luxury of time to solve more questions like this. So that is why I'm giving you the advantage of you be able to know more on how this geometric progression comes out in external examination. Now the first time of a geometric progression, this one they said A is 3 over 4. This 3 over 3 over 4. That is equation 1. Just follow the rules. Know how to interpret word problem into arithmetic form like this. I said if the product of the second and the third term of the sequence is 972, you can see I said product of the second time. No, second time is AR. And what is the product? Product means times. Of the third term is AR2, right? They said is 972. 72. They now said find the common ratio. So I'm going to multiply this. So I can write this thing A equals to this first equation, that is 3 over 3 over 4. Now this one now, A times A is that is A A squared, right? R times R squared, that is R raised by R raised by 3 is equals to 972. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to divide this one by this one or I substitute. Since I know my A is to be 9 or 3 over 4, I can substitute in this equation here. So anywhere I see A, I put 3 over 4. So I can say substitute. That's another way of doing it. If you don't want to divide it, substitute 3 over 4 for A in equation 2. So I will have here is I will have 3 over 4. You know it is squared, so you have to put squared also. How cube equals to what? 972. So what I will have now is 3 squared is what? That is 9. And 4 squared is 4 times 4. That is what? That is 16. Then this how cube will be at the top. Will be here. Just know that. That is how you solve mathematics. 972 over what? Over 1. You cross multiply, right? So we have 9 how cube equals to that 972 times 16. This one will multiply this. So 972 times 16. 972 times what? Times 16. That is 15,552. 15,552. Now what you're going to do now? So you have what? Your how cube equals to what? 15,552 over what? Over 9, because you divide both sides by what? By 9, so that how cube can stand alone. Now, so when you divide this, let me divide it by 9. I got, so my how cube here, when I divide it by 9, I got 1728. So I'll transfer this cube to the other side. It becomes what? It becomes cube root. So it means my how equals to what? Cube root. That is 3 here, 1728. So cube root of 1728. So what number will multiply? That will give us 1728. Let me check to my calculator. Sorry for the delay. If you can get it, I don't know, but let me solve it here. So cube root of 177. I know some of you will have gotten the correct answer. So let me just do this. So cube roots, sorry. Oh my god. Okay, cube root of 1728. It gave me 12. So it means my common ratio here is what? Is 12. That is it. That's the final answer. So you can see how sweet this thing is. This is a jamb question. You just want to just solve. You are done already. So now the last one now. Thank God you are there. We started it and we are what? We are ending it. Thank you for making it so far. You are actually an hero. Yeah. An hero of democracy. An hero of mathematics. So let's do this. Let's look at this together. So this is the last one. This is the last one. Help us to solve this together. So let's solve this. I think this question is very, very, very complex. Try to like get my hands around it. So let's solve it together. Let's solve it together. Together we stand. Together we stand. Chapter 13. Question. Now the question goes that if the sum of the first two terms of a GP is 3, the sum of the first two terms, you know, the formula for sum of the first two terms, you're going to say sum of the first two terms, that is x 2 equals to, what is this now? So it's going to be what? Let's say it's going to be how 2, right, minus what? Minus 1 over what? Over how minus 1. There's a here. This is our formula, right? Now they said this thing here is equals to 3. Remember this 3, I should have bring it here, but I just wanted to understand it. Now, and the sum of the second and the third term is minus 6. The sum of the second, you know, the second term is AR plus the third term. Third term is AR raised to power 2. They said sum of them, addition of them is equals to what? Minus 6. And I said find the sum of the first term and the common ratio. It means you have to find the common ratio and you have to find the first term. Now let me simplify this now. If I cross multiply for this can cancel this. Is sum of this is because I given out 3. So if I cross multiply, I will have, for the first equation, I have AR squared, because A times R squared is AR squared. A times minus 1, that is minus what? Minus A, is equals to 3 times R is what? 3R. Now 3 times minus 1, this is what? Minus 3, right? Now this one here, the second equation, you have what? AR plus what? AR squared equals to what? Equals to minus 6. Did you get that now? So in this one now, what am I going to do here? So what I'm going to do here is that, why can't I bring all this thing? I can bring this thing, I can bring it here, or bring all this one here. So I can write this thing as saying like this. I can write as R squared. When this one comes here, minus what? Minus A. Then this will come here, minus 3R, then plus 3 equals to what? Equals to 0. I can do something like this. Now why this one here? What is common? What is common here? So AR is common, AR is common here. So I can write this one as saying like A, then you have what? AR plus what? AR is common, sorry. So when AR is common, you open a bracket. So AR, this is 1, right? Plus what? Plus R equals to what? Equals to minus what? Minus 6. So just give me a minute. Have a particular. First thing to do here is that let's make a subject of the formula, sort of factorizing it like this. Though there are better way of solving this particular thing, you can use the kind of method you want, but I just want to use the method that you are going to understand in this particular scenario here. So let's look at this together. What I'm saying is here is that, let me clean this up. So you have what you have here, you have AR. So what is there? I factorize it. This is what you get earlier. So I don't want to use this again. Just let's abandon this. I want us to like, because if I solve it the other way, you may not understand. And the end of tutorial is for the teachers and the students to tally along. That is the end of what? The end of teaching. If I can't tally along with you, or you can't tally along with me, then the end of learning is what is not achieved. Now what I'm going to do here is that I can make a subject of the formula in this equation too. So what I'm going to say is that make a subject of formula in equation 2. Now if I want to make a subject of formula, A is common in both of them, so I can just say A. So A divided by this, we have R plus A will cancel this A, mean what? R squared equals to what? Minus 6. So we divide both sides by what? R squared plus R squared, so that this A can stand alone. So you're going to divide both sides by what? R plus R squared. This one also what? R plus what? R squared. So this can cancel this. So it means my A equals to minus 6 over R plus R squared. Did you get that logic? I hope you get this. Now what I'm going to do is that this value for A, I'll substitute in what? In equation 1, because this is my equation 1 here, and this is my what? My equation 2. Since I use equation 1, I use substitution method, I got equation 1 like this. So I'm going to use this thing here in this particular equation. So I'm going to say substitute minus 6 over R plus R squared for A in equation what? Equation 1, because this is what? Equation 1 here. So anywhere I say A, I'm going to replace it with minus 6 over R plus R squared. So it's going to be the first one. A is now, we have what? This one now, we have AR squared. That's A will now be what? Minus 6 over R plus R squared times, what is there? You have what? You have R squared, right? Wait, what's this? The reason why I put this thing as the last one. So we have what? We have R what? R squared minus, it's still the same thing. You have minus 6 R plus R squared. But because this one has minus there, So the best way to do this thing is that we have minus 6 over what r plus r squared equals to 3r minus 3. So that's how we do it. So let's now go together. Now let me write this thing. We can still rewrite it as, because minus times minus is plus, can have, let me write it here, we have minus 6 over r plus r squared, so that you will not be confused, times what, times r squared, no, times r squared. The r squared will be multiplied with this thing, that this one will be r squared here, just get that. Minus times minus is what, is plus, plus what, 6 over what, r plus r what, r squared equals to 3r minus what, minus 3. Did you get that now? Now you are going to multiply this multiplicative inverse. You multiply each of them by r plus r squared, so that to clear this fraction. So when I multiply each, so I'll multiply this one by r plus r squared. So r plus r, so let me just write it, minus 6r squared, for those of us that may find it difficult, r plus r squared. You're going to multiply each of them times r plus r squared plus, let me shift this thing, plus what, plus 6 over r plus r squared equals to what, you have what, r minus 3, then what you have what, r plus r squared. So this is it. So this one here we cancel this one. Did you get that now? This we cancel. Sorry, this one also will be what, times what, r plus r squared. Sorry for this. Cancel this. This is how you go. So you now have minus 6r squared plus what, plus 6. This multiplied by the 3r times r is what, that is what, 3r squared. 3r times this is what, that is what, 3r cube, minus 3 times that is what, minus what, minus 3r, minus 3 times this is what, minus what, 3r squared. So what are we going to do now? So okay, we can still use this point. This is going down. Now what we're going to do here is that I can collect like terms. For collect like terms, bring everything, I can bring everything here, or I bring everything here, anyhow I want to do it. So what I'm going to do is that this is going to, what you're going to have is that, let me collect like terms. So you have minus what, or let me take this one here so that it can be quadratic. So you have 3r squared. When this one come back here, you have what, plus what, this one will move here, plus 6r squared. Then what is again, plus 3r cube minus 3r, this one will come here, minus 6, then minus 3r squared equals to 0. So I'm making everything to be what, to be 0. What I just did was that I brought everything that is there, I brought to this side. So this minus will be plus, this plus will what, to be minus. Then you know what is there, this 3r squared plus 3r cube minus 3r minus 3r squared, then this one that will be what, plus, and this plus 6 will be what, minus 6. So that is that. So we now continue. Now 3r squared plus 6r squared is 9r squared, right? 9r squared minus 3r squared, that is what, that is 6r squared. Just like cancel and cancel this. So we have what we have, what, 6r squared. Now this one is the only thing here. We have what, plus what, 3r cube, is that not so? Then we have minus what, minus 3r minus what, minus 6 equals to what, equals to 0. This is how it's going now. Now this is what I'm going to tell you. There's what we call polynomial. If you understand polynomial, there's a way we use remainder theorem. Remainder theorem is talking about what will I fix as a number for this r, that when I insert it in this thing, it will give me 0. Did you get it now? So if I use 1 for r, we take it one after the other. Use minus and plus. If I use 1 squared is 1, 6 times 1 is 6, 1 cubed is also 1, 3 times 1 is 3, 6 plus 3 is 9. When I use 1 here, 3 times 1 is 3, minus 6 is what? Is 9. So if I use 1, if I say let's r equals to 1, let's check. So we have 6 1 squared plus 3 1 cube minus 3 1 minus 6 equals to, let's check if it's equal to 0. 1 squared is 1, 6 times 1 is 6, right? 1 cube is 1, that is 3, minus what? Minus 3 minus 6. So here will give me what is 0. It means here my r equals to what? Equals to 1. That is it. So my r is what? My r is 1. So the next one is that, let's now find a. So since my a, you can recall that this is the value for a. A is minus 6 plus what? R squared. When we substitute it here, this is what we got formula for a. This is what we got for a. This is what a gave us. So you can use that r now in this particular formula. Note how I got my r here. Now this is the equation given. We call this thing a polynomial equation, and I use remainder theorem. I check a number that I can fix here. We start from 1, choose minus 1. If 1 does not work, use minus 1. If minus 1 does not work, use 2. If 2 does not work, use minus 2. That's how you do. That's how you go about that. If I now fix that number here, after I replace it with what and I multiply, will it give me 0? If I use 1, and I discover if I put 1 here, 1 squared, everything, when I added everything, 6 plus 3 is 9, minus 3 minus 6 is 9. 9 minus 9 will give me 0. So it means my r can be what? Can be 1. Did you get the logic? So I'm not going to get a now. So here to get a now is very easy now. Since my r, you can recall from the bottom, recall r equals to what? Equals to 1. So using it here, so my a equals to what? That would be what? Minus 6 over 1 plus 1 squared. So my a in now is equals to what? Minus 6 over 1. 1 squared is what? Is 1. 1 plus 1 is what? Is 2. So my a equals to what? 2 here 1, 2 here 3. My a is what? Minus 3. Did you get that now? So, and according to our question here, they asked us to find, they said find the what? The sum of the first term and the common ratio. Now this is very easy now. The sum of the first term and common ratio, you know, r is 1, sum of the first term and second ratio. So sum, that is the addition of the first term, and that's a plus r, first term and common ratio. The first term is what? Is minus 3, that is minus 3 plus what? Plus 1. So your final answer is what? Minus 2. So you can just check this thing one after the other. It looks complex, but it's very easy if you know what you are doing. The question is, just follow the step I explained. From there you will get it down. This is everything about geometric progression. Please refer your friends, share my channel. See you soon. Thank you. Bye.